I just finished making my Slow Dog version number 5, which I made this sail using tape and so on. And I used a 1.5 millimeter bow, and my spine is 1 millimeter by 4 millimeters. This kite is fast. Not the fastest kite. Oh no, not at all. But fast enough. And why do I say fast enough? Well, this week I've had several people comment on my YouTube channel and have emailed me asking me about kite speed. What makes the kite go fast? People are infatuated with high-speed kite. Well, I used to be also. I used to think speed was the answer to winning all competitions, and I love competition, so of course I would want the fastest kite. So that's what I designed for. And I did make some exceedingly fast kites. But I didn't realize that when they were that fast, I had no control over them. So if you have no control and you have speed that's going at a pace that you can't keep up with, then what's the point? And I learned the hard way by losing and losing and losing that maybe speed wasn't the only answer. Maybe the speed is important, but it's not the only answer. And that's what I've come to realize over the years, is that the most important thing isn't speed. Most important thing is control. Your ability to control the behavior of the kite when you want the kite to behave the way you want it to at that moment, to be able to do it under pressure. Because in competition, the opponent's going to put you in positions where you're going to have to do things that are very uncomfortable to do and very challenging to do with line manipulation in order to get your kite to perform well enough so it doesn't crash or that you don't lose a point or whatever the competition is. So control is number one. Speed is important. Oh yes, it is. You got to have a fast kite, but you don't have to have the fastest kite. And the thing about speed is very different from all other kite characteristics in terms of flight behavior, is that speed is the only one that the flyer themselves has some direct control of. And the way they do it? By the rate at which they can retrieve the flying line. If you have two flyers flying the same identical kite, same wind, and one can retrieve line twice as fast as the other, the flyer with the ability to retrieve flying line fast is going to be the fastest kite, even though the kites are the same, even though the wind's the same. So the flyer has a direct ability to control the speed of the kite. That's the only thing that they can do with the kite, is control its speed. And of course, its other maneuvers, but in terms of speed alone, it's the very, very important aspect that is often overlooked, and that is flying line maneuver, manipulation or retrieval rate really is the key to fighter kite success. It will get you more speed, it'll get you more control, and it'll be the way to win if you're in competitions where winning is important. And if you're just flying by yourself, you can put up all kinds of competitions just for the fun of it, flying in and out of trees or around a goalpost or whatever it might be. But if you don't have control of the kite and the kite is really fast, you're going to fail at all those 90% of the time, or maybe more. You'll get frustrated. I know, because I did it. That's how I learned. I thought speed was the answer. It isn't. Control is the answer. And being able to manipulate your flying line, be able to retrieve your flying line very, very quickly, that is very, very important. And that is what will give you the forward speed. The kite itself can contribute and does contribute to forward speed, however. There are a few factors that are important. One, if the sail material is smooth and slippery, that helps. It helps it go through the wind quick. You want also the kite to be relatively stiff. You don't want it to be real flexible, because the stiffer the kite, the faster the kite. But along with that stiffness, you lose control. So you need to find the balance that suits you and the way you want to fly your kite, not just speed alone. So a larger diameter bow in a given kite will give you a faster kite. Same kite, just a slightly larger diameter bow. And it doesn't have to be very much. Could be 0.5 millimeter difference in diameter. It'll make a huge difference in the forward speed of the kite, and also a huge difference in reducing the amount of control you have over the kite. So if you want to experiment with that, that's the way to approach it, I think, is just start with a kite plan, any plan you want, and then increase the diameter of the bow in the kite a little bit at a time, and make another kite and check it out, and you'll find eventually where the balance for you is in the stiffness versus the controllability of the kite. You also want the kite to have less or minimum drag. And a couple of things that people do who are kite makers to facilitate that is they'll cut a little bit of a curve in here, and they'll cut a little bit of a curve along the trailing edge, like this kite. This kite does not have a straight trailing edge. This kite does not have a straight leading edge. And they're not very far off of straight, but they are not straight. They have less drag. That helps increase the forward speed of this kite, or any kite. So that is something that can be useful, but again, it is the flyer with the best retrieval speed of his flying line or her flying line that will make the biggest difference in forward speed.